So, have you ever been inside one of those massive buildings like a hospital or a university, maybe an airport? And you realize that under all the new shiny tech, they're still running on miles and miles of old coaxial cable.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge infrastructure headache, a real puzzle.
Exactly. So, today we're doing a deep dive into the engineering that bridges that exact gap connecting modern video sources to those legacy CATV lines.
Because you can't just rip it all out. If you want to distribute your own channels, digital signs, security feeds, internal broadcasts, you have to work with what's in the walls.
And that's where our focus for today comes in. We're looking at the Thor Broadcast H-4ADHD-ATSC-IPLL.
It's a bit of a mouthful. But the mission here is to unpack this thing because it's really three devices in one. It's an encoder, a modulator, and an IPTV server all at once.
It's the shortcut to understanding how these private broadcast systems really work.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The first challenge this thing has to solve is inputs. The sources are never uniform, right? Never. You got new HDI displays, sure, but you also have older security cameras, maybe even VCRs in an archive somewhere.
Legacy equipment you can't just throw away.
Exactly. So this single unit is built to handle that complexity. It takes a mix of 4 inputs HDMI, the older component YpPbr, even basic composite video.
Which is fascinating. They still support composite because institutions just can't afford to replace everything.
Right. All that older, expensive gear gets a new lease on life.
And it takes all those different signals and translates them into really crisp HD quality video up to 1080p 60.
It does. And from a compliance standpoint, there's a really key detail here. The dedicated analog input just for closed caption 608 support.
So that's not just a feature. It's a regulatory must-have for a lot of places.
On total necessity.
Okay, so the video is digitized. The next big decision point has to be managing the bandwidth. You have to fine-tune the quality.
This is where you get all the control. The system gives you 2 encoding standards, MPEG-2 HD, which is, the traditional super compatible one.
And the more efficient one.
And the more efficient, H.264 HD. You could set the bandwidth from a tiny 0.5 megabits per second, perfect for a low-res security feed, all the way up to 19.5.
Which is basically HD streaming quality.
Exactly. So you get to balance the quality you need against how many channels you're trying to stuff onto that one coax cable.
That makes perfect sense. So we've got the video perfectly encoded. Now, how does it get out? This is where it gets really powerful. The triple output.
This is why the box is so indispensable. It sends the signal 3 ways at the same time.
So what's the first way?
First, you have the RF output. That's how it gets onto the coax lines. It uses ATSC modulation, the U.S. digital standard.
And you can adjust the power on that, the dBMV.
Right, which is critical. You have to get that level just right, otherwise the signal's too weak, or it's so strong it bleeds into other wires.
Okay, so second, you get the modern path, IPTV streaming.
Yep, a separate network port. It pushes out the streams using standard protocols like RTP and UDP, and crucially, it supports multicast.
Which is way more efficient, because one stream can feed hundreds of devices without killing the network.
You got it. And the third path is for the high-end broadcast setups, DVB ASI.
That sounds complicated.
It's just the industry standard for linking professional broadcast gear together. It lets this unit plug right into video switchers or other big distribution systems.
So if we connect all this to the bigger picture, this one device lets a hospital or university build their own custom headend.
Their own private cable TV system, basically.
Oh.
And it's easy to scale. You just stack a few of these units, daisy chain the RF outputs, and suddenly you have dozens of HD channels.
And at just under $4,000, it sounds specialized, but the real insight is the return on investment.
Oh, it's enormous. You're saving potentially millions in infrastructure costs. You don't have to tear up floors to replace those old coast cables.
And it's all managed remotely through a web browser.
Which just makes it incredibly accessible.
So what this all really means is that this modulator is this sort of silent workhorse, bridging the gap between old analog signals, legacy coax, and the modern IP world.
It absolutely is. It solves the legacy problem while also giving you a cutting-edge modern solution. But since it outputs IP streams and RF signals at the same time, this raises a really important question for you to explore.
Okay.
When you're setting up a system like this, which distribution method, the old school RF signal or the modern IPTV stream, gives you more flexibility for the future? And, maybe more importantly, why might you actually need both? Something for you to mull over.